everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Brandy. Today I'm going to be talking about astrology. Today I'm going to talk about how astrology can be a tool for actors. I've been learning astrology for about a year now, a little bit over a year. So I've just been applying it to different things in my life, and so acting is one of them. I did a research paper last year. I graduated in November of 2020, and so for my last research class, I wrote a paper about how astrology can be a tool for actors. I just came to that conclusion by really bullshitting, honestly. I told my professor that I was going to do my research paper about that, and I kind of didn't have any clue how to do it. Like, I wasn't sure exactly how I was going to write a paper about that. And so I asked an astrologer on Twitter who I trust and that I love her work and what she teaches everybody. Her name is iJade on Twitter. I'll put her Twitter on here somewhere, but she's very cool and she helped me out. She replied to my tweet and she gave me some pointers on how to start my paper. And so now I'm going to share what I put in my paper with everybody, and just give people some helpful tips and books and things that are people who are actors so that they can, so that they can learn more about the craft of acting, but also astrology and how that will help them in the long run and benefit them. So the first thing you need to do is do your birth chart. If you've never done your birth chart before, go to astro.com and then type in natal chart. And so you should be able to click on where it says free chart selection and go ahead and type in all your information there. It's very important to have your birth time and make sure it's correct. If your mom or dad or whoever is your guardian isn't sure what time you were born, look at your birth certificate. Just look at your birth certificate because it's going to have it on there. It should. If not, then I don't even have to make some calls. But yeah, so look at that and then check your houses. The main house that we're going to focus on today is the 5th house. The 5th house is the house of pleasure, the house of creativity, it's the house of hobbies and things like that. So acting falls in line with the 5th house. And so whatever sign is in your 5th house is the sign that shows ways in which you can develop a character. So I broke everything down into how each sign in that house reacts or would be able to do character development. So I'm gonna first start by reading a quote and then we're gonna get started. The quote reads, "The actor, who must consider his or her body as an instrument for expressing creative ideas on the stage, must strive for the attainment of complete harmony between body and psychology." And this is a quote from Michael Chekhov. He's one of the people we studied, or I've studied in school in theater. So yeah, this can apply mostly to people who are in theater. If you're not, I think it still works the same way as far as character development go. There isn't like, a one way for each, whether it's film or stage, is kind of all still in line as far as character development goes. So the quote is basically saying, you use your body in your mind. Is not just about how you think you want the character to be, it's also about how you use your body to express that character. So you might walk with a slouch, but your character might not walk with a slouch or whatever, a hump in or their head hanging down or whatever. It's not you, it's the character. So you keep that in mind. You use your body and your mind to give to the character in order to tell their story. So I want to start off with how the first sign of the zodiac, Aries, in the 5th house, and how that transpires as far as character development. So in my paper, I wrote, Aries is a fire sign ruled by the planet Mars. Aries is known for their impulsiveness and sometimes aggressive attitude. For an actor with the sign of Aries in the 5th house, it would be easier to develop in a more straightforward manner. And when I say straightforward, I mean like, I just told you who the character is and you say, okay, I got it. Like if I say, you're gonna play a vampire and you're gonna move to a small town, but you can't let anyone know you're a vampire, then, you know, that's what they're gonna give. Like that, exactly that, the vampire who's going to a small town. It's pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Aries is ruled by the planet Mars, so it's very assertive. It's cardinal fire, so it's all about action. So yeah. The next sign of Taurus. So Taurus is an earth sign ruled by the planet Venus. So in the 5th house, an actor will approach their character in a more grounded way. Because Taurus is a fixed earth sign, it's definitely very grounded. It can be very stubborn, but I feel like that doesn't work with acting, so we're not gonna say that that's gonna be okay. But Taurus in the 5th house, they want to get to the roots of their characters. They want to know about their home life, their social status, because Venus is all about values and money and things like that. So they would want to know, like, is this person poor? Is this person rich? Are they a princess? Or, you know, who are they to people? Are they just a mother? Are they a father? Are they uncle, cousin? Like, who are they? So Venus is Taurus in that 5th house, as far as character development goes into the personal life of the character. An actor with the air sign of Gemini on the 5th house will probably develop their characters differently, way different from Taurus. Mercury is the ruling planet of Gemini. It's the communication planet. It's all about fast moving communication and, like, you know, learning things, getting information. It's also a mutable sign, a mutable air sign, so it's very adaptable. So I feel like a lot of different techniques could apply for Gemini 5th house, but one of the main ones that I feel like would work well would be to focus on the characters' motivations and their words. So a lot of like breaking down scripts would be what I would do if I had a Gemini 5th house. You know, just annotating in your script, like, where are the words that you know you probably need to over enunciate on, or what are the key words in each line that you know you can't miss that, or, you know, things like that. Just dissecting the entire script, like, not just, you know, stage directions or you know, whatever action that's in the film, a script or whatever. It'll be more detailed. So yeah, it'll be very detailed as far as each line goes, like whether it's your line or the other person you're in a show or in the show with or whatever. You'll dissect, you know, how you're supposed to react to other people's lines and what words should you give expression to or whatever, as far as your other castmates go, whatever. And then the next sign is Cancer. Cancer is a water sign. It is ruled by the moon, a lunar. Cancer is a very emotional sign. It's water, so it's very fluid with emotions. It's ruled by the moon, and the moon changes every 2 days. So Cancers change their moods every 2 days. Especially Cancer moons. For an actor with Cancer on the 5th house, they may develop their characters in a very emotional way. So for an example, the actor will research the character's family, possibly, like their family life, how they were treated. Cancer also rules the mother. So, like, in family is said to be very important to Cancer, or supposed to be important to Cancer. So yeah, so they'll probably go back and, you know, research their characters, family members, how they were treated in the family, what's their position between with each family member, how they react to each other, in order to get a better viewpoint of what the character needs in order to express. And so the actor will express the character's emotions in, you know, mental viewpoints. The next sign is Leo. Leo in the 5th house is home. In the 5th house, Leo, the 5th house is ruled by Leo. They may develop their characters by finding which ways the characters stand out from the rest. Leo is a sign ruled by the sun. So the sun is bright, it's big. When you walk outside, you can't miss it. So they're gonna be front and center of the stage all the time. Like this is their show. So when you are acting and you have Leo in the 5th house, it's better to study your character's overall personality and use their character's like likability or unlikability in order to understand the importance of the story. So we're gonna, if they're the most popular kid in school, then that's gonna be what's gonna drive them to develop that character. If they're not, you know, that's still gonna be the same thing. Like however the person getting attention, that's what drives the character development. So the next sign is Virgo. So having Virgo in the 5th house, an actor may break their characters down from what their character's favorite color is to what their social status is like. So since Virgo is also ruled by Mercury, Virgo is also very analytical and a little bit more precise than Gemini. So very detail oriented, very nitpicky, you know, wanting perfectionism. So when it comes to character development with Virgo in the 5th house, which I have natally, I'm very strategic and also very detailed about everything on the character, as far as what kind of hairstyle they'll wear, what kind of nail color they would wear, would they wear nail colors, you know, do they I don't know, shave their legs, like anything, even the smallest details, like maybe I shouldn't be wearing these earrings because this character wouldn't wear earrings, like, you know, things like that. So that's how Virgo in the 5th house will, you know, develop a character when it comes to acting. Libra, the sign of Libra in the 5th house, the actor may focus on the character's look. So Libra is also ruled by Venus. It's very, very Venetian. It's a little different energy of Venetian. It's a different Venetian energy than Taurus, because Taurus is earth and Libra is air. So it's I guess people would say that the Venetian of Libra is a little more superficial than Taurus. So it'd be more about, Libra in the 5th house actor would be more about finding what their character looks like. Aesthetics and things like that will be very important to a person with Libra in the 5th house when it comes to developing a character. Like they'll probably focus on like whether it's luxury from their clothes and like how well they dress or not, or you know, if they have a scar, tattoos, that's very important to them. So that's how they know, you know, how they get to the root of who their character is, so that you know, they can develop her, him or her. The next sign is the sign of Scorpio. Scorpio is ruled by the planet Pluto, and it's also traditionally ruled by Mars, but we're going to just say Pluto today. We're just going to go by Pluto. Pluto is the planet of transformation, death, rebirth. So it's very dramatic. It's very, you know, like Phoenix rising from the ashes. That's Scorpio. That's Pluto. So but Scorpio is also a water sign, so it's very fluid, just like, you know, Cancer. Actor with Scorpio in the 5th house would develop a more psychological point of view of their character. Scorpios are very thought-provoking. I feel like they go deeper, very deep into things of any topic, and so focusing on the psychological viewpoint of the character and, like, you know, how do they think? You know, if the line of another character in the show is, so how do you feel about your mom dying? Scorpio will want to get that and know what is the thought process of how that person feels, you know? Like, it's all about psychological viewpoints. They might want to know what makes their character snap, like, you know, things like that. The next sign is Sagittarius. It's the planet Jupiter, ruled by the planet Jupiter. It is a mutable fire sign. And in the 5th house, the actors might look into the lifestyle of the character. So, you know, from their desires or their education, anything like that, to really understand them, because Sagittarius is all about exploration and adventure. So they're gonna really explore who the character is all around, especially when it comes to like philosophically and maybe even religiously. Yeah. setting will probably also be important for a person with Sagittarius in the 5th house, so keep that in mind. So the next sign is of Capricorn. Capricorn is an earth sign. It is a cardinal earth sign. It's ruled by the planet Saturn. Saturn is a very strict planet. It's the planet of restrictions, the planet of limitations, karma. Yeah, so it's about hard work and dedication. That's Capricorn, that's Saturn. So with with Capricorn in the 5th house, they're all about hard work, dedicating their time, and really crossing their T's and dotting their I's when it comes to character development. So an actor with Capricorn in the 5th house would develop their character through the dialogue given in the script. So they may dissect each line to better understand exactly what the writer intended for the character. So it's very like sticking to the script. Quite literally sticking to the script. What do you want from me? I'm gonna give it to you. I'm gonna do it right. I'm gonna give it justice. The next sign is the sign of Aquarius. It's ruled by the planet Uranus. It's a air sign. It's fixed air. Uranus is also a planet of rebellion. It's the planet of humanity. It's the planet of things like that. Friendship. That's also a Aquarius thing. So an actor with Aquarius on the 5th house will develop their characters by finding which ways their characters are unique. Aquarius is a very unique sign, very creative, very different. So they'll find the most unique thing about their character and develop through that. They will find the differences between their character and everyone else's in order to develop, and just knowing the differences and how their character stands out, kind of in the way that Leo does, but not necessarily just to get the attention, but just to set yourself apart. The last sign is the sign of Pisces. Pisces is also ruled by Jupiter, and it's a water sign as well. This is a mutable water sign, and Pisces is a very dreamy sign. It's all about fantasy and, past life things and the occult, spiritual things. I said that it was ruled by Jupiter, which it is its co-ruler, but it's also ruled by Neptune. Neptune is all about illusions as well. So, fantasies tie along with illusions. An actor with Pisces in the 5th house will develop their character on how they can relate to them. So, how they feel to them spiritually, how they connect with them on an emotional level even. Pisces in the 5th house would be very much prone to method acting. So living as your character, even outside of rehearsals or outside of, being on set or whatever. It's always going to be that character until the end of the run of the show or the filming time. So it's gonna, the actor is gonna, live each day as that character in order to better understand that character, really, transform and, engulf themselves into that character. Take them out of the equation. They no longer exist. The character exists. So that's every day, regardless of where you are. So that is what I've learned. Those are my interpretations of each sign in the 5th house for as far as acting goes. I also want to share a few things with everyone as well. I wanted to give everyone some tips and books and tricks as far as acting goes. So I want to talk to you about the 5 elements of drama. They are character, setting, dialogue, stage direction, act, or scene. And if you're doing film, it would instead of stage directions, it'll be, the action in the film. And instead of, you still have acts or scenes in, movies or TV shows. I also want to share the Rudolph von Laban method. It's called Laban method or Laban movement analysis. And so it's a method and language for describing, visualizing, interpreting, and documenting all varieties of human movement. So everything we do every day that's what this is. Like movements we make it day to day, that's what's documented as far as the Laban movement. So it's there's 8 Laban efforts, and it's punch, slash, dab, flick, press, ring, glide, and float. So I remember in class when we did this, we had to come up with a sequence of each of the movements or whatever, or the efforts, and it was kind of like a mini improvisation kind of thing. When it comes to this, I feel like it helps actors with expressing and like using their bodies also when it comes to acting, because you know there's certain things you might have to do for your character. Is your character going to slap someone? You're going to, you know, practice those hand motions. If you're going to punch someone, you're going to practice those punches, you know? So, you know, kicking and slapping, it might be part of your dialogue to kick something or to slap something out of the air. So it's just like rehearsing your hand movements or your body movements. It's rehearsing that the same way you would rehearse your lines. Character analysis is very important. That's what we've been talking about. So like the main points of character analysis would be physical. So when you get a character, you know, you dissect that character and you might go and try to figure out who they are. So you can start with their physical, which is their age, their sex, their weight, their race, you know, things you see on the outside. Social, so what is their social standing? Are they, you know, what's their class? Things like that. Yeah, and then their morals, so like their belief system, their flaws, you know, who do they care about, who don't they care about? Psychological, how they think, you know, what's important to them, who do they love, you know, things like that. How do they think, you know, what do they think about day to day, that kind of thing. I also want to share some books that I think will be very helpful for anyone who might want it. These are books that I've used in class, I've been taught, my professors have used to teach us. So one is the Stanislavski System, The Professional Training of an Actor by Sonia Moore. And I'm going to put a link to each book in the description box. Acting on Stage and Off by Robert Barton. A Challenge for the Actor by Hagen. Viewpoints by Anne Bogart. And that's for movement techniques. So that also goes along with the Laban movement analysis. So those two go hand in hand. Like movement is also very, very important when it comes to acting, especially stage acting, because it's just such a bigger range of movement going on. A lot of the time with film acting, I feel like, you know, you have to stay set in a certain place. In acting, you can move around a lot when you're doing stage acting. And then Brockett's History of Theater. If you're a theater actor, then that will be a good book to get. And then Handbooks. There's one teaching drama, The Essential Handbook, 16 ready-to-go lesson plans to build a better actor. If you're looking to build up your career as an actor, just build yourself up as an actor. I know during the pandemic, it's kind of hard to like get out to acting classes unless you're on Zoom. And then sometimes those costs, and you know, or you might not find any, or you know, whatever the case may be, you just want to do it by yourself. You can get that book. And then, yeah, that's about it. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope I made sense telling you all this. As far as each character analysis goes for each sign in the 5th house. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me. You can follow me on Instagram at NotAnotherSag. You can follow me on Twitter at BRVNDYXO. And make sure you like and subscribe. Thank you.